Hey, cool. So in this episode, we are going to finally start doing a car. We are going to go to 3D Warehouse, where I'm at already right now. We're going to download a car. You go download your favorite car. I'll download my favorite car. And then we're going to fix that car, clean it up, texture it, and get it ready to be thrown in a white cycle, lit with a Fisher light, lit with big old lights, the way that we do. And I'll show you that workflow. But the first step is getting a car model. And instead of just like me giving you car models, I really think it's going to be valuable, and I'm taking the time to show you how to go get your own free car, because everyone's going to be doing different car commercials. New cars come out all the time. Likely they're on Google Warehouse, SketchUp Warehouse, 3D Warehouse. It takes me 3 times to get the name right every time. Let's go to the warehouse. Let's get our car and let's get it into Cinema 4D and clean it up. So I am in 3D Warehouse, and like I said, I like BMWs. And you know what car I like? The first one, because I'm not going to take too much time here. This is the BMW 4 Series Coupe. That's looking in like a nice 3D model. Make sure you pick one that looks nice like this, that looks like smooth and not blocky, not pixelated and kind of gross. Pick like a nice looking model, or else it just won't look real. Alternately, if you want to go to Turbo Squid, like I said, those cars will look amazing, but they will cost $200. But they will look amazing. So it's up to you. I know certain DPs, when you're shooting car commercials, you're already shooting car commercials like that. You're making a lot of money, $200. Like, it's going to be worth it as far as like just staying relevant, because there's a lot of car DPs. It's hard to sometimes make an edge. You can understand that this sort of thing will give you that edge. Go to Turbo Squid, you go buy that model, be that guy. But I want to show this for like the for everyone else that can't afford that just yet. I was gonna do one. Well, actually, I will do one. We'll go. Maybe we'll talk to the community. We're gonna pick a car that we all like, and I'll go buy it, and I'll texture that one up and make sure that works too, because it's its own thing to make that work as well. It doesn't come out of the box necessarily working. So, click this. Download the 2015 model. I already have it, and then we know that this is the BMW 4 Series. We know the year. Google BMW 4 Series dimensions, and we have the dimensions right here. We even have CAD drawings of it. If you wanted to go 3D model it yourself. We can 3D model these cars. You could spend, say, like a month following tutorials, and you could be able to model your own cars. I'm not gonna lie, you could do it. It's not too bad. It's not too bad because there's so much free tutorials out there anyway. But anyway, these dimensions are going to be really important because the car doesn't come in at those dimensions, as you might imagine. If I go to Finder here, okay, or not, let's hide this. So here's my model of the car that I downloaded, and this is my file from my last demo. Just call it BMW. Put it in a folder. You'll see why. Let's go to Cinema. Apple Shift O is merge, and we are going on the desktop, and we're just gonna bring it in. That seems fine. Let's do it. So we import it. Where is this thing? Hit H. Or not. Oh, there it is. Okay. So what happened is that this car is actually gigantic. If you see down here, the grid spacing, each grid is 300 feet. So it's a little bit big. So let's make sure we're at, what is this? Let's go back to the dimensions. They say it's 55 inches tall. That's the only one I need to know. So I'm going to make sure that this is in inches, units, inches. Okay. And what we're going to do is we're going to make a cube that is 55 inches tall. Not 555. What is going on here? Something's slow about my computer right now, maybe because of the screen recording. And I'm going to make it 55 divided by 2 in the air, and that just keeps it on the ground. Yeah, man, my computer's slow. What's going on? I'm going to go kill... I think it's the screen record. So screen record and this is just too much for my computer. So, but what we're going to do now is we're going to go into like a side view like this and see how like that cube, that's how tall the car should be. And that's how tall it is. It's probably 10 times the height. So I wonder if I could even do, so we select the top object. Let's do this actually. Let's make a new null. And let's call this BMW. So this is going to hurt. This lesson is going to hurt. It's going to be kind of boring. It's going to be kind of tedious. It's going to be kind of technical. But I at least want to show it to you in case you want to rely on free SketchUp models. There's a little bit of cleanup work to do, but I'm going to show you how you clean it up. Nobody showed me. I just had to do it, and it sucked. So we have this BMW thing. If I change this to scale, and I say 0.1, 0.1, 0.1, that looks pretty close. That's closer. And then from that, if I do 0.1, 0.1, 0.1, Even closer. So we just shrunk it down using the scale jam down here. So then I'm going to hit the scale button over here. And again, to scale, you want to just drag outside of the, just don't touch anything when you're dragging. So there, that's getting close. That is getting close. Let's bring the cube over. My computer's being laggy. It's kind of throwing me off a little bit here. Oh, we got close. So let's just grab the scale tool again. Computer's not being that responsive. And there, now the car is roughly 55 inches tall. We can delete the cube. I'm going to hit H in each viewport, and it's going to not do anything because my computer's being slow. And there, now the car is saved at scale. So when you bring it in, the Fisher dollies will be at scale. The humans that we work with in scale, it's all going to look right. That's how we bring in an asset and make sure that it's the right scale. We find out what that measurement is in the real world. We put a cube next to it, and we just scale it down till it's the same size as the cube. So we're going to save this file so we don't have to ever do that again. I am lazy, and you will reap the benefits of my laziness because I don't like doing things multiple times unless I have to teach it like I'm doing right now. Like this is like my third time doing this BMW. BMW 4 Series. I don't know anything about cars. So you guys can laugh at my lack of knowledge about cars. So other than this model that came in, which looks great, it looks great, but it actually has a bunch of problems with it when you go to try to render it. And I'll show you how to clean those up. Let's hit render. Yeah, so two of the panels don't have the color on it. I can't really see through the windows. The wheels don't have textures. There's nothing shiny on it. It needs a little bit of work. It's like pretty good. You could probably go to air with this, depending on the speed that you need to get this done. But say you're doing a car job and you'd like to accurately present what the car is going to look like. Let's clean up this car. Even if you bought a car on Turbo Squid, this process is going to be relevant for you. You just get to skip some of this stuff because we're going to go reorganize some messy stuff. So down here, we got a whole bunch of textures, and it's a little bit overwhelming, but if you just take a second to like, to read what they are, it's like, where's the body? Body. So that's probably the color of the car. Silver, chrome, there's the BMW logo, which actually doesn't work. Funny enough, and just different things. And they're kind of named accurately. There's the glass ones, which you can imagine are the windshield. So just look at those. It's to me, I always get a little bit sticker shock overwhelmed when like 50 textures come in like that. But we're going to go through and we're going to organize those and then hold on, and you can turn off this video once you see what else we're going to do. We're going to clean up this. And it looks overwhelming, but I'm going to show you that it's not. But we're going to clean it up, and this is stuff that you want to do because you want to have repeatable results here. So someone asked me, I'm going to hit 0. What are these dots here? Okay, this is the viewport being slow. That is a null. So when I make a null like this null, if I go down to object, there's a display, and you can say dot, or you could say point, or you could say a bunch of things, but essentially they show up in the viewport so you can select them. And what you want to do is you want to essentially just go and select all of these, and then you can, so say you select a bunch, you can just turn them to none. So maybe I'll pause the video because this is kind of a painful process with the screen record on. I'm just going to do this last bunch that I can see here. It doesn't take too long. And when we get into reality capture of making real rooms from scan data, this process is going to look really familiar. So let's just grab these. Boring. This is getting boring. I know. I'm sorry. Hit none. So any of those little dots that you see and you don't want to see anymore, just select them and then change their display to none. So what we're going to do now is start to dig into this jam. And I actually figured out, so because someone wrote the script that brings in the SketchUp file into Cinema, I'm starting to understand how they wrote it. I could write my own. A lot of people write their own importing scripts because they are very particular. And by people, I mean technical directors at big VFX studios, not normal everyday people. Not to say that it's hard, it's just not to say that it's not that needed. So when we render this car, we can look at some problems that are happening, and that's where we're going to start. And we're going to simplify the texture. So let's render. Okay, so issues right away are, let's try not to. Issues are that the wheels do not have textures on them. So let's start with the wheels. Actually, let's start with the body paint. Let's start with the big picture first. So first of all, let's make sure that we understand what the body is. And it turns out that it's this one here. And if my video is covering it, it's the one called body. So body, we're going to change the name. I double clicked it and that window comes up. We're going to call it BMW body paint. And what we're going to do is we're going to turn off reflectance for now. And we're going to make it something obvious like red. There. So now we know that it's red. And it's really weird that the viewport shows the color, but then when you render it, you can't see it on certain things. And that's what we're going to fix right now. So we've isolated that. And can I change the order of this? Yeah. So we're going to put the ones that we've dealt with here. And we're going to deal with all of them. So I saw that this panel right here, got to be careful when we're selecting things like you. Did that work? No, it didn't. So I'm going to hit 9 maybe. I'm going to go to live select. Oh, my computer is not happy right now because the recording. There, so I selected that. It's because my computer is doing a screen record and I'm on a laptop, so it's not the best computer in the world. What's going on? So let's start untwirling all of this. I don't know how much if we've ever dove into anything this ridiculous looking as far as a tree. It's not that crazy. I'll show you how to clean this up. So we go into the door, there's more stuff. But if you get down far enough, it's a polygon. That's all that is. You can move it. Don't move it. It's a polygon and it's just in a ton of groups because it got brought in from a script, not a person. So what we're going to do is we're going to delete all these tags except for that one. Don't delete the Fong tag. The 2 dots, don't delete that. We're going to delete these and the UV. Okay. And then what we're going to do is we're going to bring on this car paint onto it. Now it's on there. Great. So let's hit Apple R. You see, this is what we're going to kind of do and go back and clean things up. And I'm going to painstakingly take you through the whole process. You can fast forward it. You can skip it and be like, this is bullshit. Or if you know that you're going to kind of be using a lot of free stuff from Cinema, from SketchUp and you want to use it in Cinema, this is the process. I'm going to show you how boring this really is, but it's necessary, honestly. And then we're going to texture this car. Maybe that will be a different episode. If this feels like this episode is going to be getting the car in a good state. Now, the geometry all looks good. Nothing looks funny, honestly. It's just like the texturing came in kind of odd, and this is kind of a hack way of doing it. I don't know if there's a better way, but there's that. So I'm only going to texture one side. You probably have to do that to the other side. So the next thing I want to show you is, well, I guess we should go over how to make the actual car paint texture, but actually I think we're going to hold off on that for a second. So what is all these things? It's good to just kind of go through and understand what these are. See, like that's that little thing. That doesn't have the right color on it either. So this door, what you can do is this, and it'll tell you what's in that whole group. Okay, interesting. So that's what we're going to be dealing with. Okay, not bad. So let's look at the wheel. I'm just going to show you this process. I'm not going to do it all on camera for you right now. I'm just going to show you how to kind of go through here and figure things out. So this rim, right? So when I render the rim, it comes in the default color. So it's under a group called wheel. My goodness. Quite a mess. Silver, that's this. So this rim is under that group called silver. So let's delete all of this. Not the Fong tag. And let's find the group called silver. Let's bring it down. Double click it. I'm going to call you BMW Chrome because I want to make it chrome. So let's make it chrome. What I'm going to do is I'll leave that color like that. That's fine. We're going to go to reflectance. We are going to remove that, like I said, and all the other ones. Beckman, Chrome, let's make you like a 5%, and that's it. Now you're Chrome, right? So we could put that on there. Hit render. Now it's Chrome. Now there's nothing to reflect, so it's black. So I should put this in a stage. I should have prepped that. Yeah. Okay, so let's make a floor for this thing to reflect and put a light in here real quick. So floor. Just gonna give it like a default material. Let's see if that's good enough because I really don't want to have to put lights in here right now. But I will. I want you guys to understand how this works. That's better. See, it's reflecting the floor and there's just a lot of black around it. So that's what that looks like. So yeah, so that's how we deal with that. So this looks like it's going to suck a lot, right? So here's how we make this a little bit faster. So you see how this is called silver? That's called silver. That's called silver. This is called silver. All those things should be having the same texture on it. That's how it brought it in. So let's call this chrome. So everything in a group called silver should really just be chrome. I'm gonna bring it in there. I know this sucks. I know this is not fun. This is not cinematography, but this is just part of the process if you want free models. So let's delete all these tags. Let's just delete all the tags except for the Fong tags, which you don't need to know what a Fong tag is, but don't delete it. Those are all deleted. This Chrome thing, put the Chrome on the top group. Now everything under there is going to be Chrome. So this is how we come up and we organize these things. And it's kind of important to do that. So we'll see that there's all these things that are called plastic. And then what's group? Those are the BMW logos. Is that what that is? What is this thing? Is that the disc brake? So that's the disc brake. So you have to just go through, and if you like cars, this might be kind of fun. If you hate cars, it's not gonna be that fun, but you have to be like, you gotta make a decision about how deep you want to go into this. So this thing is the disc brake. And you have to rename it just so you know what it is later when you have to pick a color for it. So right now, we're just deleting all the textures off of it, and you want to give it its own color. And then this thing is the BMW logo. This honestly came in backwards for some reason, so this is like BMW. So let's put all the plastics together really quickly. How long is this video so far? It's already boringly long. Delete. Just delete all this stuff off of it. This process sucks, I know. But plastic. Delete that. This is important, so we'll call this, this is the actual tire. So let's make a rubber material for the tire. That's going to be fairly important. The brake disc is not that important in there. You really aren't going to really see it a lot, though you can texture it. Maybe we'll make it chrome. You know what? The brake disc, you're chrome, bro. Now you're chrome. That chrome. What's plastic? What is this thing? What is that? Some riddle. I'm going to delete that. That's the other thing. You can just go start deleting things away that you know are not going to be that important. So let's make a BMW down here. Double click you. So welcome to the world of cleaning up SketchUp files. BMW rubber tire. No, let's just call it tire. Rubber. So let's quickly make a rubber material here. Dark rubber, like that. Reflectance, delete you. Add a Beckman, make you kind of blurry. Maybe not that blurry. Maybe 50. Reflection strength, not so reflective. This also not that reflective. 10. How about that? And I'm gonna actually add a little bit of rando bump that you don't have to go to this level. Just noise. Just throw that on there. Tire. So tire, I'm gonna put it on the top group. It's kind of how this is working out at this point, is I'm putting things on the, what is that? Is that group nothing? It's a group of nothing. Delete that. So I'm gonna put the, what is black? Let me look at this. I'm gonna delete that. So I'm putting things on the top group. So let's give plastic. So what is plastic now? That's plastic, really? I'm gonna make that chrome, bro. That's chrome. We're chroming out those wheels. So when you look at this wheel now, yeah, wheel 1, that's a good name for it, honestly. We can see the textures that are on top of it, and we're gonna kind of do that for everything. Kind of sucks. But so so that's the tire. Let's make sure that rendered okay. Let's hit render. And you know what? We're not in progressive or physical, but now you can see that tire is looking better. It's at least rendering correctly. Let's switch up some settings really quickly here. I don't love this episode, man, at all so far. Progressive. Let's turn on GI and just make sure this stuff's all on low. Low. Is that all we're gonna do? I think so. And let's bring in a light just to look at this stuff. This is not the way I wanted this to go, actually, this tutorial, but let's see. Which way is the light going now? Not that way. This way, that way. Okay, cool. bring this up. It's not exactly how we would like cars, but you know, I just want to be able to look at something that's like kind of accurate as far as the lighting goes. So let's do this. This is not how I'm recommending lighting cars, but I just need to be able to see it. It looks like it's going to be a tiny bit bright. So let's close this up. Is it? Let's just check it out. Apple R. So we're in our new progressive render mode, which is going to be a little bit nicer, I think. Just look a little bit better. Yeah, so too bright. Too bright, I already know. So let's bring it down to like 60,000, maybe 50,000. Give that a shot. Sorry, this one's boring. I'm gonna try to make the next part of the car stuff a little bit more fun because I'm gonna bring in a Fisher light. But this is how we kind of like check stuff. So it's really bright. Wonder why that's so bright. I didn't think it was gonna be that far off. So we've got. I'm looking at the recording time left on my camera here. I'm gonna call that good enough for now. So let's go in on this thing. Let's save. So we don't lose anything. So let's look at the tire up close again, just to make sure that we got that looking in a way that we like. Waiting to render. Okay, so that's pretty good. See, everything's all chromed out now, all that reflection and stuff. You don't have to do anything about that. You just have to tell it to be chrome and just go put all the assets that should be chrome in a group called chrome with the texture on it. And the tire looks Tire looks okay. At least it's black, it's not gray. So we added the texture back to the door and to that. And the last thing I'm gonna do, I think for this one, is deal with the glass, because that's not looking right now. So click that. So let's go find where the glass is. See all these groups called silver, silver, plastic, 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 plastic. What you can do is just go put all those things into one group called plastic. I know that's not fun. I know that's not fun at all. Windows. So for instance, maybe we'll go find some windows. So what is that? So D1 glass. We're just gonna redo that. So now that this window thing here, you can see is gray, is blue. So let's see if we can go find the other windows. Where did that go? Here it is. Door. Group. Polygon. So let's bring you here. Where did my windows group go? Oh, is this glass too? Let's just bring this windows group up here. I know this is kind of crazy, but I just want to show you how to navigate something that's as insane as this. You know what we can start to do in a second is just to regroup this stuff. So this polygon is the window, right? So I'm just going to move it to make sure. I know this process sucks, and you're probably annoyed at me for saying that so many times, but we're going to put that in there. So if we just go ahead and we go collect all the windows, we can put them in one group called windows. We won't have to deal with all this stuff so much. So let's bring this up to the top. So let's go find the windows. So that is in door group. Go in there. Wait, did that work? Oh yeah, I gotta delete this off of it. Okay, so that's good enough. Just do that for all the windows, okay? So now we've got a window group. So things are starting to be organized in the way that like you want now. That's the other door. That looks like it's something that's inside the car. We're just gonna finish up by doing those because those are gonna be glass. So windows, the windows group now, we're gonna make a new texture. Bring it down here, double click it. If my video's over this, I'm sorry, but you know, we made a new texture by double clicking. You should be able to, hopefully if you watch the last video, you're able to kind of follow even if I'm kind of covering it. BMW, windows, glass. So this is one of the easier ones to make, honestly. Turn off color, reflectance is fine, turn on transparency. Let's go to transparency and we go from custom to glass. I think we're done. I think that's it. And it handles this for me. I'm gonna get rid of the specular. And here's what I'm talking about. Well, I'll show you why it's not right. Let's add just 2% to roughness, and then let's apply this glass group to windows. So now all those windows are see-through and they look a little bit nicer, right? That looks, even in the view part, you can tell it's starting to look better. So let's hit Apple R. That looks crazy. So we're gonna look at this, and I'm gonna change one last thing before I end this video. And then on my own, I have gone and I've already done this process to this car, but I've showed you kind of like the relevant bits. I should maybe do the headlight too. The headlight's kind of confusing. But now you can see that you can see through it. But you're not seeing any reflections, which is interesting. I guess we'll have to play with that a little bit later. Why don't I see reflections? Where's the thing? It's over there. Oh, that's why. So maybe let's see if I can get a reflection of this in the car. Rotate the frame. Yeah, that should be a reflection, right? That'll be a reflection. Like, ding, ding. Maybe I'll make this a little bit lower. It's gonna be really bright. 10,000. 20,000. Let's try that. So let's see if this will get a reflection in the window. I think it should. I'm sorry, this is kind of a drag episode. Okay, so there's a reflection in the window. Is that it? That doesn't seem right. Let me do something here. Let's reflection chase in here. There, that's gotta do it. I'm gonna rotate it even a little bit. You'll see when we have like a big Fisher light, it's a lot easier to make a reflection. As it is in the real world, because that's kind of what we're doing here today, is chasing reflections. Really feeling this progressive renderer. Okay, so there's a reflection in the windshield. So the thing is, like, that's a little bit bright. I don't like the windshield to be that reflection to be that bright like this. So what I'm going to change is when we go to, I selected the window material. We're going to go to our reflectance, and instead of having the reflection strength be 100, we're going to make it like 10. Apple R again. Apple R. I got 12 minutes left on this video card. This is going to be one of my more boring videos because this is honestly one of the more boring processes. But see, now it's like kind of like a dull reflection, so we're cheating. In real life, if the window blows out and it's blown out, it's blown out. You're not fixing it. But in the computer, we can at least pretend to have it be like kind of more perfect. And you know what? Let's just fix up this car paint. This is going to be the end. I'm not going to do the headlight for you. Maybe I will. I don't know. So we're gonna. No, I'm not. I don't have time. Sorry. So all we have is a diffuse right now. So let's add a reflectance to this car paint. We're gonna try to make the car look a little bit better. Remove. Add Beckman. And let's just keep a shiny paint. I'm not gonna do the double reflection car shader. Reflection strength, I only want it to be 50. Spec strength really low. Let's give this a shot. So now we should have a big old reflection in the car body itself too, like on the hood, because we added a specular. Oh, I see, it's way too, well, we'll see. So this is what happens with the specular strength is too high. But let this jam out. Oh, so we made the thing a complete chrome sphere. That's because you have to change this. So we have to change this down. Yeah. Okay, so we'll make this like 10%. Try that again. So here's how we do reflections for cars. Now, if you did buy a Turbo Squid model, there's a chance that you don't have to do all this regrouping and that the textures came in working, but there's also a chance that it didn't. And you're going to have to be kind of a scientist to get in there and just start to clean things up. And the more you understand fundamentally, the less frustrating it will be. So I hope I've illustrated that you're going to need to isolate the objects that are the same material, put them in a group, and then put a texture on that group. And just rinse and repeat. This is probably going to take me an hour to clean up this car and just to put everything. The geometry is really beautiful. If you had to go model this car, it would take you forever. All you have to do is go organize someone else's beautiful work and then drop the correct textures. So again, using what we learned in our last episode about how to make textures, how to make them shiny, you're going to go through and play with that a little bit. So let me try one thing here just to wrap this out. This is called Look Dev at this point. Can I Alt-R even? That might make sense. So I'm going to Alt-R, and this little window is going to keep updating as I update things, I think. So that reflection looks a little bit strong still. So 10. How about 10? That's not enough. 20. And you're going to play with that until you're happy with it. And I'm going to do one more thing here, a little advanced. We're going to go to maximum. It shouldn't change much. I'm going to add one more layer, and I'm going to try to quickly show you what I'm talking about here. So this top layer, I'm going to turn this off. This is like annoying me. This top layer that's turned to 10% here, that's the one we've been messing with. That's the shiny layer. So that picture like a thin glossy paint over something. It's just picking up reflections. That's what's happening. So this underlayer is what we would call the base. And I'm not like a shader artist. There's people probably understand this way better than I do. But what we're going to do is under that very shiny, almost mirror reflection, we're going to put a very glossy reflection, a little bit blurrier. So we're going to up the blurry, and I'm going to lower the strength again. What was it before? It was like 10, maybe 15, something like this. And then what we can actually do is we can change its color. So we go from this red color that we had to maybe something like a little bit orange. And this is not my expertise. You can likely just find better tutorials on this online somewhere. I'm not even, I've been saving. I'm going to save. We're going to eventually delete out the diffusion. Let's Apple R. And I think this is going to wrap it up. This is my attempt at a car shader, everybody. I hope this has kind of illustrated the process. So if you can see under it now, under or over the base red and under the white reflection, there is a very blurry kind of like orange reflection that's happening. And that's kind of the idea of a car paint. And then from here, you would go to these different layers and you would add noise. You would add like paint chips or sparkles. It depends on the car finish you're trying to go for. It gets kind of complex. But as far as the workflow, that's how you download a SketchUp car. I think we made it to scale in this episode as well. Very, very important. And then as much patience as you have, go through and just wade through that gigantic list of little tiny things and start to put them into groups that make sense to you. And then drop textures on those groups, and they will start to look like a car relatively soon. So that's the process. It's a little bit of a pain, but once you set up one car, you save it, you have it forever. And then you just get to do fun stuff like light it, like we're going to probably do in the next episode, which I'm going to take a break from recording these. I don't know when that's going to be. But I have a car that's already set up and nice and pretty like this. So we'll be doing that. I hope this is enough to get you through making a car. If it's not, or doing the texturing and the cleanup, if it's not, let me know and I can go further into finishing this car or another car. So that's it for this episode. And then next time we'll look at lighting it. Though if you look at this 12 by, we're basically going to do that, but with a 60 by 30 or something gigantic like you would on a big car job. So that's it for this episode. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.